Today we are going to make puppy chow. I got the recipe from a friend of mine back in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, about 25 years ago probably, when we lived there. And it was one of her kids' favorite snacks, and my kids have grown to love it as well. So we're going to start out by putting in a cup of milk chocolate chips. This is just one recipe. I used to do 2 recipes, and I would do a huge bowl. But I found that my Crispix cereal would often end up crumbling because I put too much in. So I like to do just one recipe at a time when I'm making it. So it's 1 cup of milk chocolate chips, a 1/2 cup of peanut butter, and a 1/4 cup of butter, which is a 1/2 stick of butter. Put this in here. And then we're going to microwave this on high for probably 2 minutes or until it's melted sufficiently. So I'm going to put this in the microwave and we'll start getting that melted. My kids have always been kind of funny about their puppy chow. They enjoy having their own container. So when I would visit them in college, or when they would come home like at Christmas time or for the holidays, and I would make it, I'd always have their own special tin so that they don't have to share it with their siblings. So they like it the best that way. Okay, it has melted for about a minute, and I'm just going to stir it around. I have found the puppy chow recipe in different cookbooks, and some people, my sister sometimes when she makes it, will also add peanuts to it. As long as you've got peanut butter, if you like peanuts, then you can add some like dry roasted peanuts as well. At Christmas time or other holidays too, or for like birthday parties, I've done like Chex Mix in little bags, and you can also do puppy chow, or for sometimes a bake sale. We've had bake sales at school or even at church, and kids enjoy having their own little bag of puppy chow. And they have those nice decorative little bags for birthday treats or, you know, at the holiday time. You do want all of the chocolate chips melted, so we're going to put it on for another maybe 20 or 30 seconds. And then it'll be done. I've never tried it with semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you know, if you like it not maybe quite as sweet, the semi-sweet might work versus doing the milk chocolate chips too. Okay, I think that should be good. I'm gonna stir it one more time. All right, so we are ready for the next step. So what I like to do is, it calls for 8 cups of Crispix. So I like to put in about half, and then I'll put in half of the chocolate mixture. And then I probably need a mixing spoon too, but you can also just use this blue scraper. This is good. Okay, and then we're going to put in the rest. And if you like it extra chocolatey, then you can even add more chocolate chips and peanut butter. Get this all out here. I have special recipes that I use for special occasions, and I think there was probably a time when this might be more of a winter, you know, kind of snack, because I like to keep it in the refrigerator and keep it cold. I think I would often make it at Christmas time for the kids, but especially after they got into college, you can have puppy chow any time of the year. Whoops, so we're just going to stir the chocolate in, have it well coated. And again, I said I like to just do one recipe because when you're mixing in the larger amount and the more you're mixing your cereal, the cereal will tend to get crumbly, and then you end up with lots of little pieces, which aren't so great to eat. You want to keep your cereal kind of whole if you can. And then the next step is to coat it with powdered sugar. And the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. So I will do that in 3 batches. And I get out my sifter, and then I like to sift it in to get out any lumps that might be in the powdered sugar. Okay, and we're going to stir again. And like I said, it calls for 1.5 cups, and sometimes I've seen Puppy Chow where they have it really coated with a lot of powdered sugar, which my kids don't like quite as much. I mean, they like to be able to taste the chocolate rather than having it so coated. And if you don't have a sifter like this, you can use a strainer that has real fine holes in it, like I have. I'll show you one that would also work. So this is pretty well coated, and I like using this type of bowl. I used to use my big Tupperware salad bowl, but it would the cracker or the cereal would tend to stick to the bottom. So by using my pottery bowl, it doesn't stick and it coats nicer. So there we have it, and this is the other sifter that we use. So you could also take your powdered sugar and use that type of a sifter. I like to use my metal tins to store it in. If you use Tupperware, I think it tends to get too soft. So I'll just store it in these tins. These are actually tins that we've used that we've gotten different Boy Scout popcorn in, and they work out really well. And then when our kids come home and they have their own tin, then they can tell which one is theirs by the different designs in it too. And I like to keep my Puppy Chow in the refrigerator. I just like to keep it cold, and if it sits out, that's all right. But while when we're not eating it, I like to just keep it in the fridge. So we will be seeing both of our kids, Megan and Michael, soon. So they're each going to have their own container. So that's why I'm putting them in 2 different containers. And since Gary is going to probably not want to eat this Puppy Chow because he'll be eating that wonderful recipe that I made on my last show, Kathy's gorgonzola and mascarpone dip. So we'll probably be making that for him instead. So I hope you've enjoyed this segment of A Slice of Heaven. And this is our 2 cans of Puppy Chow, and we're good to go. And we're going to be all set to take these to our kids the upcoming weekend. So from A Slice of Heaven, happy cooking.